Quartz is the best cast bar add-on in all of World of Warcraft. It always has been, ever since I've been playing, back since vanilla. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a really quick setup of Quartz. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and let's dive right in. Quartz basically lets you take your cast bar and put it wherever you want, nested it into whatever type of interface that you have. I'm going to have a ton of different videos going over each and every add-on and then one big picture, so stay tuned for all of that. First, we're going to type /quartz with a Z at the end. And it should pop up right here. First thing I'm going to do is click toggle bar lock, which you can see right here. There's my player cast bar. There's the target and there's the focus. Now, just for the sake of this, I'm going to focus myself. There's a whole other thing with focus macros and stuff like that. Now I have myself. I'm targeting myself. So this is my target and this is the target's target. You can also set up a cast bar for that. And there's my focus and the cast bar of that focus. So I have independently moved all of these things to be exactly where I want them. So cast bar for a demon hunter, I don't really use it that often. Obviously, it's for like mounts and stuff and channeling things. So I have it way down here. If I was playing a caster, I might put it way up here. Depends on where you want it, right? Also, that shadowed unit frames is what I use for all of this. So if you're used to wherever your interface is, you can change these health bars wherever you want, which is why it's so amazing. So the first thing we're going to do before we do any of this, which honestly, I did change the default to purple. I love me some purple. It's usually orange, but you can change the colors of whatever you have right here. Cast time precision, I've left all of this pretty much the same, but the toggle bar lock is going to get you to be able to see all of these things very simply. First thing, you're going to go to profiles. You're going to create a new profile. I don't care about default or whatever. Name it something, because you should have this don't just get stuck on default, right? All of my stuff is DC 6.0. And as you see, I keep updating things and it helps me keep track of all the updates that I do to it. And I can always pick the most updated one. So I'm going to do, for the sake of this, I'm going to type in test and it's going to give me a brand new template from scratch. As you see down here, it reset it back to nothing. It's got a bunch of buffs up here, buffs down here, target and focus are all blurred together. This is the default position where they all are, and you can move them around. As you can see, it has this flask buff. I have all these other things on here that I'm going to take off because I don't like those buffs on here. I use a different buff add-on that you can see up here. And now once you have this profile, you can copy from the settings of anything else, which I'll be doing just to get things kicked off here, and delete a profile. You can delete whatever you're wanting, and you can select the old version, and I can delete the old version just like that. So I'm going to copy this from my current settings, then get things back to where they were. And you can kind of see where I have my settings if you want to look this way, and play around with it if you don't. That is now my test profile is the exact same as DC 6.0. So cool. So now for these top options here, player is the actual player cast bar, of course. Target, I'm showing you right there. Focus, I'm showing you right there. Pets, if you have a pet or you want to have a pet cast bar, like if it's a mage water elemental or something. I don't have pets. In real life I do, but anyway, latency is going to be, I left the latency default alone. I didn't mess with any sort of latency things as far as the lag and cast bar calculating for all of that. I like it the way it is, so I'm leaving that. I'm leaving this also the same. The GCD I've also disenabled. Buffs, okay, all those buffs you saw when I first was starting to move it around, I turned these off. I've disabled them. I disabled all of those things across the board. So enable target buffs, no, I don't want that. Enable, I don't want it on my focus. And I just leave everything alone. I turn the alpha way down. Alpha is the transparency. Just turn everything down because I have my buffs everywhere else. This is a Raven buffs is the add-on I use for that, but that's a different video. Mirrors I've left the same. Timers left the same. Swing timer is nice sometimes. Back in the day I use it for warrior all the time. I've turned this off. I'm not too worried about that. You can enable this though and mess with this as well, and you can change where the swing timer is set. You can anchor it to the top or bottom of your player cast bar, change the gap, height, all that kind of stuff, right? And then interrupt is, I've just left this the same as well. I use another add-on for interrupts and everything. So back to the player. There's a lot of options here, but they're all very simple. The icon gap, this is the icon, and you can change how far away you have the gap between the icon and where the cast bar start. You can change your font. In general, all of my shadowed unit frames, all of my stuff uses accidental presidency. I think it looks cool, but there's a bunch of options you can play with there. You can change the name's position. I have the name on the left. You can position it on the right if you want. I just like it to be this way. And if you want to use my settings, you can have them all here. And the spell name offset, you can kind of give it some wiggle room there. So I'm going to put it right there. I actually kind of like that better. Maybe I should change that on my real one. But yeah, you have all the different settings here. I like smooth for the texture, so it's not too, it's just clean colored bar. Done. And there's all my settings for the player frame. Target frame, you have the same situation. Now, one thing I do want to say here for the player is you can easily move this around and put it wherever you want. So if you have it way up here, if your health bar is way up here, like you have it, oh, well, now you can't. Okay, there we go. If your health bar is way up here, you could have it up here, but I think you're going to want to see where your cast ends so you know whenever the cast goes off. And you can tell here, I'll put it back so you can see this too. I'll lock the bars in for now and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to mount up here and you can see that red line right there, right? You can see this red extra bar at the side. Whenever I cancel it, you can see how it turns green, or sorry, whenever it goes off, it turns green. Whenever I cancel it, it turns red. You can see how if it didn't finish the cast, it turns red. And that little red line right there is that little buffer latency thing. So I can go now and it still mounts me up. So you can just save some cast time on mounts or spells, whatever you're doing. And there you go. So now back to Quartz, and you can do any and all of this for your target as well. Let me turn back on the, let me click on Quartz, the main thing of Quartz, untoggle the bars so you can see them all again. And you can make them wherever you want. So for this is my target. I have the target right there and the focus and my focus cast right there. That's really all I want to see. And then you can make them as thick or as wide as you want, and you have all the different options there. It's just it's just so simple. I think this video is even just too simple. If you don't like the icons, you can hide the icons so it's just the cast bar, but I like to in general see, because I do have played this game for so long, I do know what all the symbols are, and that's a much quicker way for me to be able to recognize it. So there's that. And all of these are the same for all of each of these different spots. So once you get one set up, you can copy the others to be exactly the same. And now that I'm done with all of this, I'm going to go back to my profile, select my main profile again, delete a profile. I'm deleting the test profile. It's gone. I'm back to normal now. And when I log into any character that I do, I can log into that character. And if I do have a character that's a little bit different and I want to make it, you could even name your profiles based on your character. Again, I could type in mage, because if I made a mage or a caster class, I could do caster. If I made a caster class, I can make a brand new caster class, copy from, get my original settings back up. I can go back to player, move this up here, make it huge, lock it in, good to go. So I hope this takes your cast bars to the next level, locks them in, makes them super efficient. If you want to get any other stuff about the add-ons and all the quest log over here, the map in the corner, I got a bunch of different add-ons for threat plates also. You can see these are threat plates here. I have cast bars on the threat plate as well for my target. So the cast bar will be here and is on the target as well. I've thought about removing this, but I just really like to see it honestly in both places. Good luck out there, everybody. Peace.